Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. I'm on Clearmount Street, heading over to 12th Street, renamed Rosa Parks Boulevard. But I could tell that a crowd had gathered, so I parked like a block away. And we'll just look at the neighborhood. A few missing teeth here, but there's where the event is. So I got just a little ways to walk. A lot of duplex homes here. This one, the porch needs a little work. This one has asbestos problems. And there's some graffiti. But I'll check this neighborhood out a little bit more. But this has some historical significance because this was to the day 50 years since the riot or the rebellion. It depends on your point of view. Rosa Parks and Clearmount. So right here, and I think it was on this block over here, the printing company on the second floor, but I could be wrong. But here they have, I thought it was a mural at first, but it's a big, sign printed on like canvas. Oh, they had the name of the printing company in there. Maybe I'll show it later. Now, the little urban planning, check this out. This will be phase one, a business district, so they'll have an education and cultural center on this vacant lot where I was standing right there. And there's phase 2 and 3. A new playground with, I don't know if that's a dolphin or a shark. And some of the houses certainly compromised in the neighborhood. This park's been redone, and they have a stage set up here. They had some kind of theatrical performance. I missed it all. I got here because I was told at 2 o'clock the festivities started. This is James Craig, the police chief. He's going through an interview. All the big TV stations were out here. These benches have been redone. You see the nice woodwork there. Very comfortable park to sit in. Nice trees, so shaded and so forth. We're coming up on 2 nice tables. You could play checkers or chess, depending on your fancy. There's a nice sculpture, and then this one's a portable sculpture, so they're getting this one in place. I wasn't really familiar with this. I'll have to check out the website. The benches, they're up on stones. Here, that's Aretha Franklin with the song Respect. I gotta be careful now because this video goes up on YouTube for the edition that airs in Detroit. And so there's copyright laws and music laws, and I was shot down because I was playing Aretha Franklin there, A Little Respect. So I'm redoing this, so I'm kind of talking over the audio. I'm hoping the second time's a charm. But that's what you do when you post public. Anyways, we're getting close to the meeting here. They're setting up the podium. There were some sponsors here that were involved to help make this happen. Detroit 67. Kind of a somber occasion, but nonetheless, it still has to be recognized and discussed. Some of the dignitaries here, Congressman John Conyers, will hear several of these people speak in this conference. Even the mayor. And the star of the show is the new historical marker. This is what the whole ceremony and the like is all about. So we'll get I was going to take a sneak peek, but I think people would have gotten their panties in a bunch if I took it off. So we'll wait. All right, I'll be patient. But yeah. Here, look at the, this is a Ford Cruiser, and so they have a nice paint job there. The GM Global headquarters, in fact. How ironic. Okay, Gordon Park. So Gordon Park's been here for a while, but it's new and improved. You can see new sidewalks, new big rocks too. Okay, so I'm going to walk around the neighborhood here, and this building they got it roped off in the back. But some flowers, and depending on your perspective, sometimes you can see pretty things amongst things that maybe aren't so pretty. This one's all like boarded up, this house. And pretty good business there for the hot dog man. I kept keeping an eye to see if the person with the mic would start saying, hey, we're ready to get started. But I had a little time, so I'm walking around. This is all boarded up. And I don't think I've seen it. This is a weather card. So I'm not familiar with that. But here are urban planning. Hey, this is a nice empty lot. We're going to see some urban planning here because the sign, let's check this. Well, we're going to check that out in a little bit. Okay, 1 street north of Claremont is Atkinson. Okay, here we go. Urban planning. There's 3 things here, and this is Karasi Development Group. We'll hear from them after the ceremony. They'll talk about this development. That's what this is going to look like, the Boston. And there'll be a topical view. The Wellington North, that's from the top. This is looking at its side. Okay, they'll go in this lot there. It's after 2, so they're running a little late, but I'm keeping an eye on things. Okay, Wellington South, that's going to go there just north of Claremont on the corner. So that's the master plan, and get your bearings. That's looking north that way. So looking up north from Claremont, phase 1. I don't know, phase 2, phase 3, but here, the Boston, a 4-story mixed-use building. The Wellington, 2, 3-story mixed-use buildings. And they got a couple of sculpture gardens. Yeah, that's what you'd like to see, urban planning. And then everybody can get involved in that. Everybody's a part of that. Everybody's a piece of the puzzle. Okay, here's the stage. We're getting a little closer. Detroit approved, Detroit tested. That's kind of clever. Here, Detroit born, yes, I got that. I was raised in Dearborn Heights and then in Dearborn. So I have to go back to Detroit, I do. Detroit 67, of course, yeah, that was 50 years ago. And I remember that. I was 7 years old and the Tigers just missed out to go to the World Series. They lost to the Boston Red Sox, so that was a tough one. 67, our family went to the Canadian 100th birthday. It was in Montreal, Expo 67. So, but I'll tell you about my personal perspective of the riots a little later on when there's a little more time. There's the historical marker, and the crowd is still gathering. People had to park. Some people doing the barbecue. Here's another duplex here, but this is part of the neighborhood, and some of the buildings certainly aren't occupied. And you have to look whether they're salvageable or they'll be part of a demolition plan. And then you have an empty lot, and you offer that to people to develop it as they see fit, whether keep it residential or mixed use. But here, yeah, a little tree trimming on the porch needs to be done, but I'm still keeping an eye. Okay, Taylor, I'm 1 block south of Claremont. But yeah, we'll hear several speakers talk about their historical perspectives and Detroit moving forward and so forth. There was a threat of rain, so I keep an eye on the clouds. Hey, there's John Conyers, congressman here, so meeting has started. I'm going to be quiet.
You were here, okay. So was I. We're starting off with a remembrance, and because of this, we understand what happened, and then we say, never again. Let's say that, never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Will we be caught in a situation where the tensions, the emotions are so high that we had the explosion that we did. Now I want to just say one thing, not supportive, you were, but it was a part of the policy, and that's what we're in a way here to celebrate that we've overcome that. What we want to do is spread, continue the goodwill, continue to build relations, differences. We're in a different time now, a different situation, so it's easy for us to get together now and think nothing of it. Listen and say our piece about what we ought to do to go from here. Now, Detroit is on the move upward. We're going up. We're getting better. We're on the way up, and it's a great feeling, isn't it? It's fabulous. I'm so proud of the things that have been done and said to make everybody feel welcome. Not only those who live in Detroit, but those who come to Detroit. And so it's in that spirit that I welcome everybody here. I'm grateful.
Fortunate that Congressman Conyers and Congressman Brenda Lawrence shared their stories as part of our permanent digital archive. So with that, I would love to introduce Congressman Brenda Lawrence.
I want to say good afternoon to everyone. I just want to thank those who have kept our story alive to be here today in this, and with my hero, John Conyers. I just want to say, in order to have an anniversary, something had to happen. And in 1967, something happened where it had a foundation and roots of negativity, and as we know, as a police force and a citizenry that did not have the same objective, or they weren't working together. Many of you know I served as a mayor of a city. The military was brought to the city. And as a child I said, who are they coming to fight? So, are they coming as a black girl watching all the disjustice and all the unjust things that are happening in the South and civil rights, and said, well, who are the enemy? Should I run when I see them because I'm black? Are they coming for me? I remember thinking, why are all these tanks and things coming into our city? And I remember my grandmother, who was from the South, who openly wept watching this riot. I remember her being embarrassed by the looting, and she said, that's not our people, and her praying at that time. So what happened, we capture it in the history books, but there was emotion and there were people who survived this and have the story to tell. So today we're saying it from somewhere. It has to be a resurgence from something, and it is moving forward from where. So you can't forget your history. And this is not to make the riot something sexy or something that is come forward to talk to your government about what we can do.
Here's that arts installation. So there's a website, Mobile Arts.
We all played a role into what happened in 1967. Some of us were victims. You say, how did I play a role with that? But when the anger, this is Detroit, and you all love our
All right. Now check this out. This is a beautiful home here. Whether it's still a duplex, I don't know, but they have some, a nice privacy fence with flowers.
When I talk to my colleagues from around the country, they say, oh, I'm so impressed. I hear good things, and I tell them, come back, you'll be so surprised. I continue to be a proud child growing up on Lumpkin Street, meeting my husband. We had an anniversary yesterday, 45 years. I met him.
All right, more flower action. Nice backdrop. But yeah, beautiful, well-kept home there, and it looks like he has the lot adjacent to him. Down and up, so the awning fell off here, and the roof is compromised. It's a see-through roof. But the event is still going on. There'll be quite a few speakers, but I'll get a different point of view. I'd like to do a 360 kind of and check out in the context of the neighborhood. Has this neighborhood improved from 50 years ago, or is there room for improvement? Certainly there is. It's a work in progress, but 50 years ago was already a long time ago. We need to get over this and move forward. So this is where urban planning comes into play, and like I said, everybody can get involved. It doesn't matter what color of skin you have, or what gender, or ethnicity, or religion, or whatnot. Urban planning is something we can all get involved with in some way, shape, or form. Even if you just buy a piece of property and fix it up, you're a piece of that puzzle. You're a piece of bringing the city back. This building here might have to be torn down, but I'm trying to get a different perspective. Look, there's a nice fireplace here. Wish I had super steady shot, because I'm just walking around and I need to just stop and focus. But anyways, we'll listen to James Craig here, but this is the neighborhood. This house, yeah, we can do something better with this building for sure. Nice motorcycle.
In his hometown in 1977, and returned here in 2013. And his whole purpose of returning to the police department of Detroit was to help us. Chief Craig, I really hope and pray for you every day. And I will share a sincere thanks from everyone right here on the stage. I'd like to welcome you up to talk about the level of reflection from your time and the way that you see things from 1967, but more importantly, talk to us how the police department has changed and where you're leading us. Thank you.
(1967), 50 years ago, 10 years old. But I remember it vividly. My father was here, 2 years younger than me. My nephew wasn't born yet, but 50 years ago, but I remember vividly, the tanks, the snipers. I lived in the 10th precinct. My dad, a military veteran, honorably discharged, and a Detroit Police Reservist. He worked at the 10th precinct. So when the rebellion, the riot, the insurrection started, my dad was deployed to provide safety at the 10th precinct. And having known my dad as a little guy, one thing that I remember is some of the conversations he had with me about what it was like for him growing up in Detroit, and the injustices between the Detroit Police Department then and African American men. And I said then, I would not be a police officer. As a Detroit police officer, and guess where? Assigned to the 10 short years later. I remember these streets vividly. They look very different than the way I was going 34 years.
Yeah, this was a duplex interesting housing structure.
So as I think about 50 years ago and think about my experiences across this country, you should be excited about the DPD today. Excited. Thank you. And close at 4 o'clock. No such thing as body cameras. A consent decree that had by now had run 11 years. And look at us now. When you look to my right, you see neighborhood police officers. 59 neighborhood police officers across this city. Come on now, somebody just, yes. Please give them a hand. Mayor Mike Duggan, who has embraced it. Let's give him a round of applause. Because here's what I know as police chief. It's one thing to go about the business of creating trust-based relationships, but if you don't have a relationship with the mayor, you can't get it done. And I tell you, we have a great partnership going, and we're going to continue to have that partnership for 4 more years. Come on now. So as I close out, excessive force and brutality against our community. Let's think today and think about the 10 Detroit police officers since September of last year that have either been shot or killed. And one is still fighting for his life as we speak. And then we think about this week in the last 3 days, where 3 police officers, or 3 different incidents where our police officers were faced with armed confrontations. Just know that the men and women of this police department are some of the best in the country. So let's thank them, let's bless them, let's pray for them, and thank you. May God bless the city of Detroit.
In particular on this dedication ceremony. As I look around from my perch up here, I've noticed we have at least 2 other elected officials in the audience who are not on the stage. I want to be sure to acknowledge there has been an organizing force, a whirlwind of a man and an organization. Lamox, you've gone through Lamox. Yeah. Congratulations on this amazing weekend. It is my pleasure.
Oh yeah, the hot dog man.
12th Street in Claremont. My family is still down there. Over 70 years ago, we moved over here in the early 40s, one of the first African-American families that come into this community. And if you notice, I use the word community. It was a very...
lot of black and white. Check out the fashion statements.
Said, we do this kind of work on a regular basis. And the chief for accepting. We thank y'all so much. We have some, I want to just thank a couple people out here.
Oh God, the devil in me really wanted to do it.
This story is not forgotten.
Oh,
A lot of you are standing on hollow grounds. That's what
just a bad dude.
Where it all started. Okay, so in the Mike Duggan.
Thank you, Laurent.
Okay, you'll hear a heckler here, and then they'll discuss it later.
Somebody who was born in the city, somebody who was born in the city, it's very painful to be standing here and think about what's going on.
Detroit opportunity! Stop the
And it's especially poignant to be here with Congressman John Conyers. If you think about what we had here in 1967, Congressman Conyers, at personal peril, came out here, talked to the groups, tried to convince them that what we should do is work together. But we know that at that point, this was a city in which white and black Detroit experienced the police department in very different ways. They experienced housing opportunities in different ways, experienced job opportunities in different ways.
Always a little drama.
Racial argue than talk, but here's what I see. what the police department has done with the neighborhood police office with the body cameras. But one other thing Chief Craig didn't mention, I don't know if you saw this story. The new police chief of the city of Dallas is
The drama
Detroit Deputy
continues,
Chief to
but
Detroit for their leadership. Did you
the
think you'd
police
see that
are
today?
handling the
That's something
situation.
that we wouldn't have seen 5 years ago. And the other reason I think we're going to be successful is because of community partners like Lamont Causey. If you look at what Lamont Causey has done every year in this neighborhood, this group sends the students back to school with new haircuts, with backpacks, with school supplies, making sure that our children know their value. And I want to say congratulations to Lamont Causey and Brothers Always Together. You've done a great job.
Thank you so much, Mayor. This is the kind of negativity that we don't need to have. We didn't ask for that to come up here.
This is life. This is facts.
Sir,
Talk the facts here.
can someone please escort him out of here?
Stop putting race in our community.
Thank you so much, y'all. Hey, you know what?
He's back.
Wonderful program, and we're going to make sure it's still a wonderful program. We have a great mayor that's doing good things for the city of Detroit. We have a great mayor that's doing a great thing. We don't need that little bitty negativity that this guy doing. Please keep the negativity away. Let's keep this program moving. This is something that's special. We're going to let Jewel Ware come to the mic.
Thank you. Let me say peace and blessings to everyone, and that we came this far by faith, and we're gonna keep on pushing, and nothing's gonna hold us back. I want to just give remarks and greetings and talk about Red Now today. We know why we're here. It's unfortunate what happened 50 years ago, but as we look around in our community, it's up to us to work together to try to rebuild and restore this community, to organize and to move forward, to continue to look out for our young people and our senior citizens. We must also, I meet so many young people that want to come back to this critical times. We must continue.
Yeah, urban planning, definitely. That subject comes up quite a bit.
Always agree on.
And opening up business for people of color. So let's stick together, y'all. Like Ms. Ware said, the world.
Oh, the old Tigers logo. That was good to go in '67 and again in '68. We all know what happened in '68. Yeah, buddy.
And guess what? None of us have a magic bullet. This is about America. It's not just Detroit. Detroit is the bellwether city for the rest of the world, and we represent what challenges we face as a nation. And so nobody said that it was all resolved, but what we're talking about is how do we move ahead? Not move past what happened, move the conversation forward. Have the level of engagement and reflection, and then take action to do something about it. There's very little today, sitting right here, that we can do about what happened 50 years ago, but there's an opportunity right now. And I just want to make sure that we don't lose sight
Hell yeah, there is.
of one man who needs all of us to work with him. I don't like it. And his voice matters, though. And we got a space for his voice. Oral histories, we got ways for that man who has complaints to get involved in our project. Let us do that. Come join us and all these community partners. Don't attack one dude. I don't like it.
That was a nice comment. Yeah, he's got a voice. Let's hear him, but not this venue.
Today. And I also want to recognize the fact that we're in District 5. And what that means is I have the pleasure, and she was out knocking on doors today, so she had...
It has been an honor and a privilege to be with you all over the last 3 days. I've been here since Friday. I kicked off Occupy the Corner on Friday. How many of you out here were on Friday? We're here Friday. We had a great time. The Dramatics performed, and really just engaging with this area. We spent a lot of time this summer on the West Side, understanding that it was the 50th year anniversary for the 1967 riots. And listening to some of the stories and hearing the perseverance and the resilience of the people that have been here 30, 40 40 years that have remained dedicated to the city of Detroit has been very, very inspiring. So on today, I just want to give a round of applause to this community, to the residents that have been here and have remained here and are dedicated to the future of this city. So you all deserve a round of applause today. Yes. And so I just want to say, as we move forward in Detroit, it is extremely important that we remember the past, that we don't forget it, that we teach our young people, our millennials, those who are moving in the city, the past, what we went through, how it was decades long of oppression and issues that we went through as a people to get to the 1967 riots. But then that we also recognize the present. Where we are today, some of the opportunities that are here. We are getting ready to redevelop the Herman Kiefer site. Are you all excited about that? Finally! Herman Kiefer, which means jobs, which means opportunity. And so I want to make sure that you all are connected. My office is right up the street at the Williams Walker Center. If you all want to get connected with jobs and opportunity that is getting ready to come in this area, because you all have been waiting a long time. And it's only right that you are a part of the revitalization and the redevelopment that is going to take place in this area. So let's recognize where we are today. And then lastly, let's embrace the future. So remember the past, recognize where we are today, and embrace the future, all of the great things that are come before us. Again, I'm Councilwoman Mary Sheffield. Feel free to visit me on this side of town, right at the Joseph Walker Williams Center. I'm there every single day outside the Coleman Young Rec Center. All right, thank you so much. God bless you all.
Good afternoon. I bring greetings from Rick DeVore, our PNC Regional President of Detroit and Southeast Michigan, and our entire PNC family. A little over a year ago, can you believe it? After
Marlo said, left the city of Detroit, we not only stayed, but we increased our investment in the city, including the recent announcement. Whether it's the new cancer center or this transformed park, let our 50-year anniversary of one of the most important events in our beloved city thank you so much.
Some youngsters taking or making use out of the playground here. It's good for exercise. And I had to check this out. The drinking fountains work. Hey, this, if you want a Michigan historical site, this is the guy. We're getting ready to unveil this. This is the guy. Let's listen in. Derek Coleman, too, if you were wondering.
But I'm proud to say that our commission approved the application that the Detroit Historical Society brought forward for this marker. And then the text, the story that goes up on this marker. What will it say? How will it deal with this very difficult issue? I'm pleased to say that the Commission approved text that we worked with the Historical Society on, and it tells an important, critical story for this city, for you people, for all of us as Michiganders. So I'm honored to have been part of that. You've been here a long time. I know wisdom literature. Make a signpost where the road branches off to the city. You may know that from this book of Ezekiel, as some call it. This signpost that will stand here at this corner, you've made this signpost where the road branches off to the city. As we gather underneath these branches, as we dedicate this marker, think about how the road from this point forward branches, and which path will we take forward as a state, as a community together. Thank you very much.
Don't leave, I got some special guests who came to say hi.
Oh yeah, positioning is important, and it's like, okay, it's going to happen real soon, so I wanted to get up front, and they have these rocks, and I'm short, so I'm standing on the rock, and we're going to hear some singing. God, and I don't know if that's copyrighted too. Holy, you never know. Live performances. I need that super steady shot here, but I'm kind of excited. It's like everybody's positioning themselves, and here we go. Let's do it. It's happening at 3:20 p.m. Okay, this is side number one, but I'm yelling out down in front, and nobody's cooperating, and it's like I'm trying to be the white elephant in the room, and no luck. But I got on top of another rock. Yeah, I gotta worry about copyright stuff. YouTube, God. And I only have to go through YouTube because I have to upload a file to YouTube, and then they transfer it, and it airs in Detroit on Channel 68. It's Mary Sheffield. We heard her speak a little earlier, and it seems like she's on board with improving Detroit. Everybody wanted the photo op with the mayor, and there's an election this year. He's being challenged by Coleman Young Jr. We'll see what happens, but by all accounts, except for a few people, he's doing a decent job.
To the festivities, all of his actions, and it's in his heart. So Katrina Lockhart and Dr. Ray Johnson have came out to talk about some of the great work that they're doing.
To make sure I don't forget anything, even my name. But I'm extremely excited to be here. As they stated, my name is Katrina Lockhart. I am the Executive Director and founder of Karazi Development Group. And
hey, we're talking urban planning here. Check this out.
Dr. Racy Johnson, educator extraordinaire and former board chair of Neighborhood Service Organization. We are a local development company rooted here in the community. We put the community at the center of what we do, not just with our words, but our actions. Most important, my mother from the legendary Black Bottom. And they were looking for a place that had amazing homes and great schools, along with everything you could think of at your fingertips. So this development is called the Mustard Seed. We are planting for positive density, cultivated by historical roots. This is our way of building sustainable communities. It is about economic diversity and inclusion. We have been and continue to be a melting pot of cultures, exchanging ideas and information, crossing, connecting communities, cultivating genius, building human capital. So my partner, Racy Johnson, will tell you about the different phases of the development and some special people we
aimed at us, and they were threatening to take us out. And yet we are still here, the resilient, the powerful people we are. Nelson Mandela, I was fortunate to be there when he came home, and he said, "You are powerful beyond measure." And it's obvious that we are here today and we're moving this forward. As she said, Karasi is a Cape Verdean term that means wisdom and life. And as we're going to do in our first phase is to develop over there our Karasi Education and Cultural Center, which will legacy the history all the way back to the 30s and coming all the way back forward. It will have arts programs and creative programs, storytelling, along with our Motown partners and Wright Museum and the Historical Society. We'll have exchanges and exhibitions that will be able to tell the new story on which we go. And then after that, we will have our mixed use. If you look over there, there's a rendering that talks about our mixed use. The mixed use will be apartments and condos with retail space on the first level. Already we've heard from very destination-oriented restaurants who want to come in. And so we're looking to revitalize and bring back the economic fiber of this community. Now today, there is a mural that we put up there that was commissioned to be done by a world-class artist. He's a Kresge fellow. Sitting over there, planning department.
The Secret Service? I don't know if this is the mayor's detail or James Craig, the police chief's detail. There's still some interviews taking place here. There was a lot of press and enough police officers here in automotive capital of the world. I have that shaky cam, but I'd like to say motor capital of the world, but if you say automotive capital of the world, that's close enough. Yeah, they're going to have an unveiling of the painting here, ribbon cutting.
We see the potential that can be converted from progress to promise. Nelson Mandela said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." So, we dedicate this mural to our community as we turn the page and move forward and tell a new story of sustaining, growing, and rising even stronger. So we want to cut the ribbon here. I don't know if the mayor's still here or Mary Sheffield.
Oh, there you go. All right, Mayor Duggan, close this out the right way, and then we're going to hand it out back off to Lamont. We have some very special guests who are in town. They're in town because they love. Is Councilwoman Sheffield? I think she may have left.
Check out these scissors. Like gold-plated. I don't know if that's real or just like gold paint. Derek Coleman. You almost had to know. Look how tall he is. He's like 2 feet taller than me.
Come on in. People got to get home at some point.
This is home.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
One girl cuts the ribbon. Once she cuts the ribbon, we'll all say, "Rising strong." Let me hear you say that.
Rising strong.
Say it again.
Rising strong.
All the time. My neighborhood. Here we go. Yeah, Detroit. This real Detroit.
Right.
Real Detroit.
All right.
Economy Printing, you see it there. That was the business, I guess, on the first level. The Blind Pig was on the second level.
All right. So
And
we clear the stage really quickly.
yeah, I gotta see the actual. I think it was on Claremont, so on the northeast corner of Claremont and 12th Street. But here, they were just talking about this. This is the first space. And great, let's hold their feet to the fire and say, make this work. This will be great. Right in this space right here, this dirt lot, and there's some grass a little bit. But here, this mural, our storytellers providing a glimpse. You got to do a little speed reading here. Rising strong, we just heard that. Yeah, it's been 50 years, man. It's time to move forward, be a little progressive, right? Progressive. Yeah, and that's all urban planning. Everybody, and I can't emphasize this enough, everybody can be involved with this. You don't have to feel like you're excluded. Okay, there's downtown. That's where Tiger Stadium was. Now, on the day of the riots, the Tigers played a doubleheader, And the fire started earlier Sunday morning at like early Sunday morning, like church time, but in central Detroit. Here again, a duplex. And Claremont, the line here. Yeah, now I have a little time to round out the hour. I'm going to take a little tour of the neighborhood. Now, Central High School is nearby, but that says Central Detroit. And I thought, well, maybe that's Central High School. But I'm going to have to figure that one out. That's a school, definitely, but not Central High. You would think it would be a high school being 3 levels like it is, but yeah, it's an intermediate school. Imagine that. But here's the I'm at the southeast portion of where, 12th and Claremont. But look at these city seals. Check this out. City of Detroit. I mean, these concrete reliefs, I'm not sure what the official term, it's like a shield. And then the detail, the craftsmanship, bar none. I mean, back in the day, they spent the time, energy, and money, and they did a good job. It's unfortunate, certainly, that things are left wide open. This building is for sale from the city, and we'll see the sign, but it's been vacant for a while, and it's certainly been stripped. I've been through a few school buildings, and usually shortly after the school season's over or the school is closed, word gets out, and that building is stripped lickety-split. And then it's open to the elements and open to explorers like myself. But, I mean, really, the door's wide open. So what happens with this? Do we tear this down? Certainly Detroit residents would have more of a vote than someone like me in the suburbs. But game plan is on. I have to move to Detroit. So which neighborhood do I choose? Where can I do the most damage? Oh, no, but being in the city, God, that would be, wow. I'd have my finger on the action, or I'd feel the pulse. This room, I don't know what this was. I couldn't figure this one out. It was kind of crazy walking through these hallways. All the lockers are gone. And so I'm going to step outside because I knew there were, well, in a spell, this is the stage where theatrical performances would take place. All the seats have been removed. And then someone outside, and yeah, it's something that catches your eye, whether, you could say it's an eyesore, yes, but at the same time, there was beauty in this building, certainly. Okay, here, for sale or lease, so-called Detroit Public Schools. So if you're interested, but you would almost wonder, just for the land, you'd have to spend some money, tear it down, but a huge piece of property. And I'm doing that urban planning, thinking out loud kind of thing. And no, I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. And that's an intermediate school, but if you can figure out the name, I had trouble with that script. It just, yeah, and it wasn't Greek or nothing like that. That was in English, but I'd really, yeah. But can you imagine an intermediate school? This is like a high school. And this was the projector room. Someone was up here earlier this year. Actually, I was going to go up to the 3rd level, and when I was in the stairwell, I heard a noise, and that kind of spooked me a little bit. And it's like, well, I don't need to make any new friends right at this time, kind of a thing. I just want to loop around the neighborhood and get a perspective because, yeah, 50 years ago, this was ground zero of where the riots started. And it's a point in time where we got to get beyond that. It's amazing that we're still talking so much like it and using it as an excuse. But luckily, I think we're really in for some good luck here, because the millennials don't give a rat's ass. They weren't born during that time. They really didn't hear too much about it and probably aren't interested in it. I think they can look at things and say, hey, there's opportunity here. Things are dirt cheap. One thing about Detroit, if you compare it to any other major city, it's like the most affordable city. It's amazing. Yeah, you'll have to deal with issues of crime or maybe an uptick in crime, depending on what you do. But now with video cameras, surveillance outfits, whatever, you can keep an eye on your assets and your property, and you can, it's different. Technology certainly... there's a lot of things you can do with that. So people need to take another look. Here, I like the way the greenery is taking over that tree stump. And then there's beauty everywhere. And art is everywhere, too. Here's a land yacht. It's a Satin Doll or whatever. But this is the Herman Kiefer thing, and it's like a complex. This is a huge deal. And so I'm trying to case the joint out. I'm going to loop around. But while I'm doing this, let me tell you about my recollection of the 1967 riots. And it's from afar. I remember, I was all of 7 years old. I turned 7 in July, earlier, a couple weeks prior to when the riots started. And I specifically remember, because my parents were talking about this at dinner time, and my mom and dad were conversing, and they were talking about the riots in Detroit. And I specifically, they were talking enough about it and so forth. It was like, I remember thinking, what is a riot? It's one of those ages where maybe you have, you ask 50 questions or whatnot, but my mind couldn't wrap around the concept of a riot. I had no idea what a riot constituted, and so they tried to explain to me what the riot was. It's like, and you hear about what happened, 43 people died, all the fires, the looting, and all the issues and whatnot. But I really just, that was my recollection. What the hell is a riot? And, And so it's certainly shaped Detroit. And here we are 50 years later, and a lot of the issues still remain. The mental issues, I should say. We need to progress past this point. We've discussed it enough, talked about it enough. Now we should talk about the opportunity. Everything here is a parcel of land. It's a piece of property. What's happening? Now, they talked here about the Herman Kiefer place. I'm not sure what they're going to do with this, but look at the masonry work here. Whether they're going to tear it down and redevelop the property and some jobs are created. But that's good news, because you develop things, you create some jobs, right? People want to be close to where their job is, maybe walking distance, biking distance, bus distance, short commute, whatnot. That's a big thing. The millennials like that. They like to be in one place where all the action is happening. So there's a shortage of housing in the downtown area, because all these young folk that like to work, or they're working for Quicken Loans or some other places, they like all that sports activity, the band activity, the live entertainment, the music, whatnot, the parks, just eating out, biking around, and just being part of an experience like that, a communal thing. They're all over that. Here, I thought I might have to come here because I needed to get my new copy of my birth certificate. So for a short spell there, I could have gotten it there. I ended up getting it at the Temple facility. Across the street, though, another school, and this is boarded up. So anyways, walk back up to Claremont. And look at the Motor City Casino. They like to take the detour. That's what I like to do. You know, you plan it kind of in a rough idea, but when I'm walking around Detroit, you always take that detour, you know. What's around this block? This block. What can we see here? Oh, I missed that. There's always something new to see. Here, like this house, it's not inhabited now, but it has potential. Nice stone house. This house, well, we just saw a nice house, well kept. Now I'm making it back to the event. Nice stand of trees, certainly, in that park. That's great. Then I'm not sure if this church, it's padlocked now. I don't know what the deal is. They got top property for new business. Okay, here we go. Automotive capital of the world. Ha-ha. I need to get me one of those patches. Then change it to motor capital. Just change one word. Motor's a little shorter.
Hello?
Geez, I don't know if the music on those ice cream trucks are copyrighted. Woo-wee. No, I definitely have to be careful now. Well, they say sometimes if you air music that's like not your own kind of thing and it's in the background, they can put ads up. So here's a guy on the soundboard, so yeah, I should keep the music down here. Anytime there's like live music, even though it got me to, you know, shimmy a little bit or like sway. Okay, now if you really want to read the sign, here you go. I'm going to get the whole caboodle, kit and caboodle. An illegal after-hours bar. And then I didn't know this, where patrons were celebrating the return of Vietnam War servicemen. So that's pretty noble. But it's kind of like a red light district. And then there was even questions as to who called the police to say, hey, you know, who knows if it was getting out of hand, but little debauchery and stuff. There's always that kind of sway back and forth between the fun crowd and like the church crowd, you know. There's got to be some kind of balance. You can't get too far out of hand. So this all kind of went down at early Sunday morning. They should have been asleep getting ready to go to church, but you know, it was a late Saturday night party, and a lot of property damage, a lot of fires, and more than anything, it was the mental aspect that affected people. From there, of course, the white flight transpired, and the population dropped, and the tax base, and the jobs left, and yeah, everybody knows the whole thing. It's time to reinvent ourselves. What's nice, really, is I think the millennials get it. They don't have the baggage that older folk do. I'm 57 now, so I certainly have some baggage, but I think I'm progressive, though. Here, well, again, the news outlets and Rosa Parks, renamed from 12th Street, but Rosa Parks certainly has some history of her own. And so does this gentleman, Martin Luther King Jr. If you go south on Rosa Parks to West Grand Boulevard, there'll be a nice park here, and then some nice flowers. And then just like kitty corner or across the way, you can see the sign of Hitsville, USA. And then coming soon, Tiki's Treasures. Yeah, here we go. Motown Museum now. Mo Money, what a great name. Soft ice cream. And then got nachos. This is a Chevrolet. Folks, thanks for watching. But, you know, in future shows, certainly, urban planning's paramount. It's key. And I can't say it enough. Everybody can get involved. Just because I talk about it doesn't mean my, penny for my thoughts or whatever. That, you know, it's probably worth just a penny. Your thoughts are worth just as much. Let's put it that way. So let's everybody get involved. Even the person that was heckling, they value his opinion. He needs to go to these community meetings and discuss this and whatnot. That's all well and good. Everybody needs to get involved. Yay, yay. Okay, enough psychobabble. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.